Well, many of us dream about combining all our skills and interests to create a career that also changes the world in a positive way. That may sound like a lofty ambition, but for our next guest, Yolandi Franken, that is exactly what she has done. Yolandi is the director of the Cause Film Festival, an event that provides budding filmmakers with the chance to make a short film about a cause they feel passionate about. She's also a film producer, an actor, a model, and current Mrs. World Australia 2016 as part of a larger body of charity work. And today she's my guest. Add that to your title. There's a lot of titles, although I hear that you're about to hand back the crown. So yes. Commiserations. Yeah. Let's start by talking about the festival, and then we'll work backwards for the rest of your career, because it's an interesting idea that you've got a film festival, a short film festival, dedicated to not only making money for the charities that people are interested in about, but also the films themselves have to be on the cause that they're passionate about. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. So any film entered must submit a charity, or must represent a charity or a cause. So it could be filmmakers, it could be a charity, or it could just be anyone who supports a charity that can enter.
And where did this come from? Because listening to your titles there, you obviously had a background in film, you obviously have an interest in charitable works. When did you decide to marry the two?
Yes, so as you said, I've been doing charity work for a long time. It's always a hassle and a struggle. How do you get to grow your audience, and how do you spread your message more? And when I speak to other people in the same situation, they have the same problem. So I thought, creative, I work in the film industry, and it just made sense because people are more inclined to look at something that's entertaining than just, listen to my message. This is what I want to tell you about my sad story.
Well, so, yeah. But this is, I think, a crucial issue, because truthfully, when I hear charity film festival, I think it's going to be a bit dense. It's going to be a bit hard to actually enjoy the movies if they're too aggressively pushing the cause. How do you stop it from becoming effectively an ad, as opposed to being something that people actually want to enjoy watching?
Well, it's a good point. A lot of our films are actually not that depressing. Luckily, we have filmmakers that are aware of that, so they make it quite funny sometimes. We have documentaries that are factual. We have, a lot of comedy, a lot of animation as well.
And what have you seen? I think it started in 2014, so you've done two, you've come into the third one this year, which we've just discovered is on Equinox this year, 23rd of September. What have you found is the type of films that are being offered up? What do they tend to kind of focus on? Can you pick out major themes that you're seeing?
You know what? The funny thing is, last year, for example, I had a look, and there was not one film or two films that represented the same cause. So it was different things: violence, alcohol and drug abuse, animal rights. So there's no limit. It's only political things and things like pornography or things like that we don't accept.
Let's talk about your soon-to-be handed-back crown as Miss World Australia. Now, this is not to be confused with Miss Universe Australia, which is a very different thing, formerly associated with Donald Trump. But even in recent times, beauty pageants, I'm going to use that term, and I'm sure you're going to correct me on it, have got a bad name. In Sydney, we've had this Miss Lebanon controversy that's hit up at the moment, and there are a lot of question marks about whether or not this is an empowering thing for women, or effectively it's objectifying women. Now, what's your counterpoint?
Okay. I think that it has changed over the last few years. It's not just about how you look. They are looking now more for, especially in the Mrs. sections, more overall women, ticking all those boxes, career, community awareness, maybe family. So I think it has changed. And for me personally, it has given me a massive growth in spreading my message for charity. Confidence, I'm now doing public speaking, I'm emceeing events, I'm doing this. So it's really grown me as a person. And I think people should change the way they look at it. They should look at it as a sport.
All right, so a competitive sport.
Yeah.
Let's talk through how you got there, because you were, I believe, born in South Africa. You've come over in part because of your film work. You wanted, I believe, to get more training here and thought there was more opportunity in Australia to further that career. Is that fair?
Well, I came with my husband because he got a job offer here, but that is true what you've said. There's a lot more opportunity here, although not as much as in some other countries, but yeah.
And when did you come? When did you make the move across? And how did you find that? Do you feel like you're at a disadvantage or an advantage being effectively something slightly exotic coming into the Australian marketplace, especially in film?
Probably a bit of both. In terms of acting, it's been a bit of a disadvantage because of my accent.
Right, yes.
But for the production work, it doesn't really make any difference. Yeah, Australia's been great. It's been very welcoming.
And how did you find, I mean, the film industry is notoriously fickle. notoriously casualised. Australia doesn't have necessarily the economies of scale. It doesn't have huge productions being regularly put through.
Yeah.
And a lot of Australia's best talent, as you've just kind of referred to, end up going, especially to the United States, perhaps to UK or Europe more broadly.
Yeah.
How do you see that working, and how do you make sure that you're still getting enough work to make it a viable career choice?
I think that's why I do producing and acting and presenting, as well as modelling. So I keep myself busy with a few different things. So there's never really a dull moment. But yeah, it is challenging. But if you're passionate about something, you just kind of stick to it.
Well, I want to talk about the charity work in particular. As you said, before you were crowned Miss Australia, you were interested in charitable works, and partly obviously with the Cause Film Festival. But your cause in particular is ovarian cancer. So how did you become involved in that? Is there a family connection? How did you become passionate about that issue so much so that you wanted to do charitable works for it?
Okay, so I had my own health scare. It was not ovarian cancer, it was cervical issues. But through that I learned that I'm okay now because of early detection tests.
Right.
And same with breast cancer, they have the mammogram, but ovarian cancer doesn't have any early detection tests. So often find out when it's too late.
Right.
So I realized that we need to let people know. 1,200 women are diagnosed every year, and only 800 survive, and that's because it's only detected so late.
And so are you therefore trying to create an early detection method, or is it about that you need to find a cure in order to? Is there any possibility of there being an early detection method? Of
course, all the scientists are working on that, but in the meantime, I just want to create awareness. Because if people know about it, symptoms are like bloating, backache, tiredness, things that you just take for granted normally. So people don't really worry about it and get checked out. So I want people to know about that symptom so they can, make work of it.
And so how do you see your charity work working in there? Is it about, for you, raising the money? You've mentioned awareness, but where do you think, for those people who are passionate about an issue, what's the best thing to do? Is it about working on the front line, trying to donate their time? Is it about donating their money? I'm just interested in how you see the purpose of making sure you're doing the most efficient way, I guess, of trying to attack the cause that you're most interested in.
Yeah, well, I guess there's so much to do in every charity. There's financial things, there's awareness. So I can't do everything. So I'm focusing on awareness. The charity that I support is called Teal Wings of Hope. And that's what they do, awareness. So other people can do financial fundraising and scientific things. So, yeah.
Fantastic. And the film festival is open for entries now.
Yep.
We are going to have to go. This is your edition of Your Career, and I shall see you all next week.
Have you ever looked for a hotel online? Did you notice that there are so many different prices out there for the exact same room? Well, Trivago does the work for you and instantly compares the prices of over 600,000 hotels from over 200 different websites. Instead of searching for hours or spending too much, Trivago makes it easy for you to find the ideal hotel for the best price. Trivago shows you all the different prices for the exact same room. And that's how you can be sure that you find your ideal hotel for the best price. Hotel Trivago.
Bro, did you know thousands of Australians have shifted over to real car insurance? I bet I know why they've switched.
It saved me $600.
I saved $35 a month.
$421.
$337 on my car insurance.
That's some